But this is only the beginning of our quest. There is a broad expanse of ocean between this crew and buried treasure. So you must have a seaworthy ship.
Right behind me here, well, actually, you'll see the word, let me just duck here, Hispaniola. See, it says Hispaniola. That's the name of the ship.
We are using basically the same valve equipment and everything else that a flight simulator uses. We're down to a little baby electronic lever that you can do this with, and the boat does exactly the same thing.
It's a whole complicated technical process that I don't even pretend to understand.
If you're standing off balance, you can fall over because the ship will just suddenly be going, and it just does full rock and roll, which is just like storm rock and roll. It just goes all over the place. You know, you have to hold on and everything.
But no matter how big the boat, life aboard was hard on the crew. Disease, boredom, sickness, and...
I got cabin fever! I've got it too! Cabin fever!
I got cabin fever. It's burning in my brain.
I got the cabin fever. It's driving me insane.
We got cabin fever. We're flipping our bandanas. Been stuck at sea so long that we have simply gone bananas.
We got cabin fever. We lost what sense we had. We got cabin fever. We're all going mad.
There are very important people who keep our journey on its course. They are known as the filmmakers.
Brian Henson is the best director moi has ever worked with. For a human, anyway.
Who's he?
Who?
I don't know. He's Brian
Henson?
Brian Benson?
Is he on the crew?
Benson.
Benson?
What? Oh, Henson.
I think he's a lighting guy.
We decided, no, let's make a world where you believe they both cohabitate this world, and you believe that these humans grew up and lived around Muppets all of their lives. When actors work with the Muppets, it's important that they can react to and respond to the Muppets the same way that they would to another actor.
The puppeteers, when they have the puppet on their arm, will only talk to you as the character. It's a kind of discipline, and you just get so used to it.
So guys who come to the front, Clueless and Monty and guys, if anything, run in low so that when you get to the front you can jump up.
We actually directed ourselves. He had nothing to do with us.
You know, I think what Treasure Island offers us is, first of all, the spectacle. I mean, we've never really tackled an action-adventure story. Treasure Island is a big, epic story to tell, and with telling it with Muppets, of course. The Muppets works at all levels, and it's basically a family movie.
Feels like we're really doing it.
It feels like we're finally having an adventure.
Yeah, I'm starving. Where's the kitchen?
But none of this appears on the screen by itself. You need magicians to create the magic. They are the artists and craftspeople.
What I basically have to do is coordinate all the puppet building that's going on for the movie. The world of the characters is pretty wide open. I mean, there'll be people-y puppets, and there'll be animals, and there'll be creatures that maybe nobody will know what they are. And even the band of pirates on the ship is really a motley crew. I mean, we have a goat.
And he's just pretty slow and pretty stupid, I guess.
And a lobster, and some dogs, and I mean, it's a little bit of everything. The builders, the artists here work on how it looks and how it works. It has to move well, it has to be able to have as much possibility for a range of expressions we can give it. The characters really pretty much have to stand on their own and be able to work essentially as a good character. The costuming and the props will do a lot to put it into the right period and make it appropriate.
Puppets have special needs. One, they can't pick up a really heavy prop. Often the props have to be rigged into their hands, either sewn or taped or sometimes on wires. I work with a tinsmith who made small lanterns for me and cups in a puppet scale. And it ended up that these props were actually light enough that I can use them just as they are.
Sailing the 7 seas on a 5-year mission, boldly going where no man has gone before. Say, that's catchy.
Well, I think any Muppet project's more fun than your normal design project. Because they're just such wacky guys, and they do wacky things, and there's always some weird element to it somewhere. The thing with the lead puppets is you quite often see them together, so I always have to consider the colors of what they're wearing in relation to each other. Fozzie Bear's completely wacky, and he's always very influenced by his skin color. He's gold. He's got a pink nose. So he looks very good in pink tones. And then Piggy, who's sort of, you know, pirate's girlfriend. Piggy's figure does change sometimes. She goes up and down like any woman.
Yes, she does. She did get a bigger dressing room. She has to. How would she fit in?
While I say I'm trying to create a, 18th century world here, there are a lot of things that come into this movie which are completely wacky. Our rats, for one, they think they're on a Treasure Island cruise. Rizzo the rat thought he'd make a little money on the side and chartered it to all these rats.
All right, folks, have your checks made out to Rat Tours Limited. Remember, we put the rat in Pirate. Yeah, that's good. Oh, thank you, Mr. Plegman. Next!
There's another key element that makes the action epic, the adventure intense. No pirate movie is worth its sea salt without memorable music, a hummable score, and singable songs.
When the course is laid and the anchor's weighed, a sailor's blood begins racing. With our hearts unbound and our flag unfurled, we're on our way and off to see the world. On the way and off to see the world.
All the music in the film was written by two very special people to us, Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, who've written just about every song you've ever heard in your whole life.
The humor of the Muppets is that it's a perfectly normal world. It's just completely insane, but to them it's normal. You can't look at it as something funny. You have to do it completely seriously. So that held over, I think, with the songs too. You have to kind of write them as if you're just writing for a character, a serious character, and the fact that it's a Muppet makes it funny.
Hoist the sails and sail, sailing for adventure on the big blue wet thing.
Sailing for adventure on the big blue wet thing.
Joining Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil is the Lion King's Academy Award-winning composer, Hans Zimmer.
To make the Muppet thing work, you have to surround it with reality. You know, for those characters to really come across as crazy, the more real and traditional I am in my scoring, the more they shine. You can just drop all pretensions and just become a kid and, have a good time.
Sailing for adventure.
It's so nauseating.
Sailing for adventure.
So exhilarating.
Sailing for adventure.
We're all celebrating.
On the deep blue sea.
As you near the end of your journey, the treasure is nearly in your grasp. But what is the treasure, you may ask? The treasure is a rollicking good time.
Shimmer my timbers, shimmer my soul, yo, ho, heave, ho.
whenever I'm not working, you know me well, I go straight back to the swamp, and that's where I hang out until the next thing comes along.
And they sailed their ship across the ocean blue, a bloodthirsty captain and a cutthroat crew.
It's dark a tale as was ever told of the lust for treasure and the love of gold. Shiver my timbers, shiver my sides, yo-ho-dee-ho. There are hungers as strong as the wind and tides, yo-ho-dee-ho. Shiver my timbers, shiver my sails, dead men tell no tales.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you aboard. Until next time.
Hey, do you mind? We're trying to do a documentary over here.
Doing an interview here. Do you mind? Thanks.
Hey.
Ciao.
Was it good coming back to work with the same co-stars as Christmas Carol?
Wait, why do you think I ever left? What do you think I got? You think I got like a mom and pop business someplace? That's it. That's what I do.
Could you tell us about Miss Piggy and what part she's playing and what you have to do with her?
Miss Piggy? You want us to talk about Miss Piggy? She's a pig. What else do we say?
Last time there wasn't quite the sort of passion between the two of you that we've been looking for. Can we be looking for that this time?
Perhaps you've been looking for passion between Miss Piggy and I. I can't exactly say I've been looking for the same passion.
Can you work separately, or does this little piece of your heart always belong to him?
Moa's heart always belongs to Moa's frog. But if the deal is right, you never know.
Are there any of the actors in it as well? What about the real actors?
What?
Hey!
Real actors?
That's a slur to our people.
What do we look like, chopped liver?
Do you get to work with Tim Curry in this?
Have you ever tried Tim
He's great. Will you shut up? It's not something to eat.
It's a chicken dish.
And how about Brian Henson? You worked with him before.
Brian Henson. Oh, yeah. No, he's the guy who brings the food around every afternoon.
What about Brian Henson?
Oh, right. He has real long hair. I wish you would cut it. He's a nice boy.
Yeah.
You guys worked really hard on the set here.
You're darn right.
Yeah.
You hear that, Brian?
We're working hard over here.
We're working.
It's been a couple of years since the Muppet Christmas Carol. What have you personally been up to in that time?
I'm doing a lot of reading, a lot of feminist reading.
Could you tell me what your what characters you're playing?
I did the part where I opened the door with the...
Sorry.
Open the door with the key.
With a key. Bless you. I'm sorry. Didn't I say?
Hiya, babe. Hollywood talk. I love it.
I know.
Eat it up out there.